Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. I've literally just finished filming another video, so I probably look the exact same and the setup's probably the exact same as the last video you watched, but welcome. I already said that. It's a rainy, gloomy day, so I figured it was perfect time to read you some scary stories. Today I'm going to read stories about people who have encountered their doppelgangers. If you don't know what a doppelganger is, it's supposedly a person who looks, acts and is the exact same as you on this earth. And there is an urban legend that if you encounter them, one of you will die, because two of you can't exist knowing the existence of the other. I do have my own personal story about a doppelganger, which I will include at the end, but for now, let's hop straight into the first story. These are all very short stories, but we'll just read as many as I can before my voice starts to decay. The first one is titled Seeing Herself Out of the Corner of Her Eye. Late at night, I usually go to the bathroom multiple times, but for the past 4 days, every time I go to try and leave, I can see myself standing in the mirror out of the corner of my eye. Already no, thank you. What? It's like the other me is watching me leave the bathroom. It terrifies me to the point where I almost run out without looking directly at the mirror. I never told my husband about it because I didn't want to acknowledge it out loud. Earlier today, I took a nap in our bed while he sat in the chair next to it watching TV. When I woke up, he told me that he'd seen me sit up, crawl backwards to the end of the bed and stand up in front of our bedroom door from the corner of his own eye. I'm not going to sleep tonight. Are you joking? He thought it was weird that I got up like that because I'm in the last month of my pregnancy and can't really move so well without hurting. So he tried talking to me. When I didn't answer, he looked at the door to find me not there and still sleeping in bed. I got really creeped out and I finally told him about what I'd been seeing in the bathroom. He thought it was creepy as well, but didn't really want to talk about it anymore because he thinks it will give whatever it is power or energy. I have no idea what it is or why we have both seen it. It's probably not a doppelganger story, it's probably a mimic or an SW story, which I still find just as scary because what the flip. No thank you. This second one is called A Fake Mum Beckoning Her Daughter Away. No. Sorry. When I was 9, I stayed home ill from school. I distinctly remember that I wasn't actually ill, just simply playing hooky to avoid bullying. Kids are cruel. As I did a lot at that age. I woke up from a nap, turned on the TV in our living room and scrolled through some channels when my mother suddenly leaned over the bar and stared at me without saying anything. I'd been awake for a few minutes at this point, so I can't rightly blame sleep paralysis for all of this. Now, whatever this thing was, it was identical to my actual mother. It sounds weird to describe, but it's as if the only difference was the thing pretending to be my mum had never felt a single emotion in its life. It was unsettling. It beckoned me and I attempted to talk to her as I would my own mother. She kept beckoning, refused to answer, and that was when I sensed something horribly wrong. Naturally, I started screaming at this thing to answer me. It just kept beckoning. I bolted, running out of the room and into the yard yelling for help. My mother, the real one, had been working in the yard and came rushing over. I told her what I'd just seen and she soothed me with easy explanations that it must have been a fever dream, but thankfully stayed by my side the rest of the afternoon as I was a nervous wreck. No, because what do you do in that situation? Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you run away like she did, but like, or they, I don't know, but like, I feel like the camera's wonky again like the last video, but maybe it's just my eyes. A second dad standing at the door. I remember one Sunday morning my brother and I were watching Card Caper Sakura on TV and someone knocked on the door. We lived in an apartment that was empty. The owner hadn't rented the second floor. It was a 2-bedroom apartment with a kitchen and a bathroom by a door. Oh, like a house that's split into apartments, so I was really confused then. A small apartment but with a big window that faces out to the door. So when I heard someone knock, I checked the window and I saw my father, so I thought. I was going to the door to open it. When I was going to unlock the door, my mother pulls me away and screams at me not to open the door, because I didn't know who it was. I told her I saw my dad. She freaked out, going to the window and then checking the peephole. She started getting terrified and she said to go in the farthest room in the apartment and to not come out. She went up and woke up my dad. My dad was angry and confused. We told him what we saw and the man was still knocking at the door. My dad screamed, "Who is it?" No answer. He said he would call the cops, but no response. While my dad was busy screaming at him, we saw that he was just standing still in front of the door. So my mum took us to the furthest room from the door and my dad got ready to open the door with a metal bat. God, so many doors in that sentence. Once he did, the man was gone. But my dad goes looking out everywhere around the apartment. The apartment door was a heavy metal door and always was heard when someone was coming in, and out, but we heard nothing that morning and nothing when my dad opened the door. We heard no footsteps either, but my brother, my mother and I saw that man that it looked exactly like my father. Okay, that was quite badly written, but still creepy. I think these are all from Reddit, by the way. Younger mother bringing in the groceries. When I was about 16 or 17, I was really into doing the Ouija board. Of course you were. Of course you were, because every horror story starts like that. Other stuff happened, but the doppelgangers were definitely the worst. I don't know if you're allowed to say it out loud, and now I'm scared. The first one was my mum. I heard her come in and my best friend was with me. My friend and I walked to greet her. She looked like a younger version of my mum and was carrying groceries, so I tried calling out to her, but she didn't respond and walked away into my brother's room. I got a feeling. I called out to her, but she didn't respond still, so I followed her up. She was not there. When I walked back down, my real mum had come in and didn't know what was going on. She was also wearing a different outfit. The next one was my brother. My mum was talking to him on the phone, and he said he was on his way home. As soon as he hung up, my brother walked in through the door. He talked to us for a little while. Mum wanted to take him out to the garbage or something. Mum wanted him to take out the garbage or something, and then walked to the bathroom. He'd been in the bathroom for like 15 minutes, and then I got that feeling again. I asked if he had fallen or something. Then my real brother walked in, and he was freaked out. My mum checked on him all night to make sure he was alright. Both times they had dark eyes, and it felt sort of like a dream, but I was definitely awake, and other people witnessed it. These stories all sort of feel like mimic stories and less of... I'm really scared I can't say it out loud now, but I'm still enjoying them. A terrifying mother who locked herself away. I remember one time I was talking to my dad in a hallway of a house. I don't really remember what it was about. We both saw my mum clearly walk past us and into her room, shutting the door. I walked back out into the living room and my mum was still on the couch, asleep. I looked back at my dad and he looked at me. We were both terrified. We both crept over to their bedroom and looked at the closed door. Neither of us went inside. We were freaked. I'm pretty sure my dad slept on the floor that night, and I don't blame him. I'm going to read a few more, but my voice is getting very tired. Doppelgangers that refused to speak. Both times that my family experienced doppelgangers refused to respond when they were spoken to. The first was my sister's doppelganger, who my brother told to go downstairs for lunch. She did not answer. When my brother walked downstairs, he instantly saw my actual sister wearing a different shirt. She couldn't have passed my brother so quickly because the staircase led directly to our dining room. The second was my own doppelganger who stood at my door at 12 p.m, mute and staring at my sister, who was using the computer. I wasn't actually home until 4 p.m. later that day after school. My sister didn't know until she asked me why I'd just stared at her earlier with no emotion around noon. If someone had told me that they'd seen me doing something strange and I knew that it wasn't me, I actually just don't know what I'd do with myself. Like, I just don't know. Number 7, which I think will be the last one I read because my voice. A missing brother. I'm so effing weirded out right now. What the actual F? I was sitting there on my computer when my brother walks in and sits down on his bed. He doesn't say anything. He is a quiet person, so that's normal. I go to the bathroom, walk back in, and he's gone. Look outside, and the car that he had left in with my mum a few hours ago still isn't there. I go outside to see if anyone else is home that I could have mistaken him for. Nope, I'm still home alone. What the hell? Yeah, no thanks. No thank you. Okay, I will read one more just because that was pretty short. A fast food joint full of doppelgangers. I don't like the sound of that actually, so maybe I won't. We had problems with doppelgangers at a fast food joint that I worked at. I had 2 separate sightings myself. Oh, okay, I envision like a fast food joint like full of just doppelgangers, like doubles of people. But no, this sounds okay. First, my general manager comes by to tell me in the drive-thru and the register person to clean the lobby and then go to the restroom. So the register person and I come up with a plan and wait for her to come out. We see her walk out of the restroom, walk by us and walk into the lobby. We go to catch her but no one's there. We turn around and there she is walking out of the bathroom. We tell her what she saw but she didn't believe us. Second, manager and I are in the prep area. One of the girls who is working up front walks back and right into the walk-in cooler. After about 5 minutes of waiting, the manager asked me to go and check on her. I open the walk-in door and there is no one there. As I'm trying to explain this to my manager, the girl in question walks into the prep area from the front. Needless to say, the manager believed me and finally believed what had happened first sighting. And that's all I'm going to read for now. I feel like this video is for more sort of mimic stories, but I guess when they're like actually in the flesh, they're considered doppelgangers. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. But nevertheless, I hated all of them a lot. So now I'm going to tell you my personal story about a doppelganger. I'm so scared you can't say it out loud now, and I've said it about 50 times in the last 20 minutes. This isn't directly a story from me. This is from my mum. When she was younger and travelling the world, she was in Vietnam and she walked past her literal doppelganger in the street. and that was it. She just saw her from a distance, they locked eyes, and then they walked away and never saw each other ever again. And that one really freaks me out to my soul, because I believe everything my mum tells me, and that's just horrible, really. I think I might get her on the channel one day to tell all of her like creepy stories, because she has a lot. She's lived a life full of, yeah. Anyway, I will be back in very soon to talk about absolutely nothing. Bye.